Welcome to your nightly immersion. Tonight, Maria and Leo will guide your subconscious through the English language. Just relax, breathe, and let the words flow. Sleep well. Leo, I have a confession. I'm not scared of traveling or ordering food, but walking into a professional interview in English, that makes my heart race.
You're not alone, Maria. Using English at work isn't just about vocabulary. It's about confidence and tone.
Exactly. How do I sound professional without sounding like a textbook? How do I sell my skills without sounding arrogant?
That's exactly what we're tackling today. We're going from the job interview to your first meeting, showing you the phrases that actually get people hired.
And just like last time, we've put all the office essentials into a free career cheat sheet you can download at the end.
Ready to level up? Let's get to work.
Leo, I've practiced my About Me 10 times, but every time I start, I feel like I'm reading a grocery list of my past jobs. It feels so dry.
That's because you're giving them a history lesson, Maria. An interview isn't a history lesson, it's a movie trailer. You need to show them the highlights of why you're the hero of their story. When they say, "Tell me about yourself," they don't want to know where you went to primary school. Use the present, past, future model. Present, what are you doing right now? Example, I am currently a project coordinator focusing on past. What is one major win from your last job? Example, in my previous role, I spearheaded a transition to future. Why are you here? Example, I'm looking to leverage my experience in a more global environment like company name.
Oh, so instead of I worked at X for 5 years, I say I spent 5 years honing my skills in X, which led to a 20% increase in efficiency.
Exactly. You're connecting the dots for them. What about the dreaded, what is your greatest weakness? If I say I'm a perfectionist, they'll roll their eyes. If I say I'm messy, they won't hire me. The secret isn't the weakness, it's the pivot. You need to show that you are self-aware and proactive. In the past, I struggled with, I realized that I needed to improve my... To address this, I started using tool or method. Now, I find that I am much more... For example, in the past, I struggled with public speaking. To address this, I joined a local speaking group, and now I feel much more confident presenting my data to a team.
What do I do when they say, tell me about a time you failed or tell me about a conflict? Those are so hard to answer on the spot.
Use the STAR method. It's your compass for every story you tell. S, situation, set the scene briefly. Where were you? T, task. What was the challenge or goal? A, action. This is the most important. What did you specifically do? R, result. What happened in the end? Use numbers if possible.
So I shouldn't say we fixed the problem. I should say I identified the communication gap, then implemented a weekly check-in, which reduced errors by 15%.
Perfect. We is for the office. I is for the interview. Never end an interview by saying, "I have no questions." That's like finishing a date and saying, "I have nothing else to say to you."
True. So what should I ask to sound like a leader?
You should ask about the future and the culture. What does success look like for this role in the first 6 months? How does the team handle feedback and professional growth? What is the biggest challenge the department is currently facing?
These make me sound like I'm already part of the team. I love it. Leo, there he is, Mr. Tanaka. He's looking at his watch. If I just say, hello, I am Maria, it feels too simple. If I say, I am honored to begin my tenure, I'll sound like a robot.
Relax, Maria. On day 1, people don't want a speech. They want clarity and enthusiasm. Use the bridge introduction. Connect who you are to what you are doing here. The formula, greeting, plus name, plus role, plus small action goal. Hi, Mr. Tanaka. I'm Maria. I'm joining the team as the new junior designer. I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into the project name this week.
Getting stuck into? That sounds messy.
It's a great idiom. It means to start something with energy and focus. It shows you aren't just here to sit at a desk, you're here to contribute.
What if he starts giving me instructions and I don't understand half of the technical terms? I don't want to look like I lied on my CV.
Never say, "I don't understand." It's a dead end. Instead, use active clarification. You aren't admitting failure, you're ensuring quality. Use the professional understanding phrases. Could you walk me through the process for... Just to align on the expectations, you want me to... Could you expand on what you meant by technical term? I want to make sure I'm on the right track. Should I focus on X or Y first? If you ask to be aligned, it sounds like you're a strategist, not a confused student.
Okay, but what about the kitchen? I went to get water and a coworker was there. We just stood there in silence. It was painful.
Small talk is the oil that keeps the office machine running. Don't ask deep personal questions. Stick to the 3 R's: recent, routine, and recommendations. Recent. Did you catch the event or news this weekend? Routine. Is it always this busy on Tuesdays? Recommendations. I'm still exploring the area. Do you have a favorite lunch spot nearby? People love giving advice. Before you leave on your first Friday, do a mini review with your manager. It shows you were proactive.
What do I say? Did I do a good job?
No. Use forward-looking language. I've finished the onboarding tasks. Is there anything specific you'd like me to prioritize for Monday morning? Or, I really enjoyed learning about the project this week. Thanks for the support.
It's like I'm managing them as much as they are managing me. Leo, I've been staring at this action plan for an hour. I need to ask the lead designer for a change, but I don't want to sound like I'm complaining or demanding things.
In an office, Maria, you don't demand, you suggest solutions. It's the difference between being a problem creator and a problem solver. When you see a mistake or a better way to do something, use collaborative language. The mistake, this won't work. The professional pivot, I was looking at the timeline and I'm concerned about the task. What if we tried solution instead?
Oh, so I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just offering a what if.
Exactly. Use phrases like, have we considered? I'm wondering if it might be more efficient to... From a design perspective, I'd suggest this.
What if I'm the one who messed up? I sent an email with the wrong attachment this morning. I felt so unprofessional.
Everyone makes mistakes. The pro way to handle it is the AAA rule. Acknowledge, apologize briefly, and action. Don't say, I'm so sorry, I'm so stupid, I'm so sorry. Too much emotion. Do say, my apologies, I attached the wrong file. Attached is the correct version. I've double-checked the links to ensure everything is set.
So keep it short, fix it, and move on.
Exactly. Focus on the fix, not the feeling.
My coworkers are so nice, but they keep coming to my desk to chat while I'm trying to finish this report. How do I tell them to go away politely?
You need to set soft boundaries. You can be friendly and firm. The soft but kind phrases. I'd love to chat about this, but I'm on a tight deadline right now. Can we touch base at 4 p.m.? Or, I'm in the middle of a deep work block. Let's catch up over lunch. I want to give this my full attention. Can I get back to you in an hour? Use the word bandwidth. It's a very common office term. I don't have the bandwidth for a chat right now, but let's circle back later. At the end of the project, don't wait for them to ask you how it went. Circle back with a summary.
Like a final report?
Even simpler, a quick email or check-in using result-oriented language. The project is wrapped up. We managed to result. I've finalized the drafts. They are ready for your review. Or, I'm happy to report that we are ahead of schedule.
Deep breath. Leo, Director Sato is joining the call in 2 minutes. My hands are shaking. What if I lose my train of thought? Or worse, what if there's a technical glitch and I panic?
First, remember, the screen is your friend. In a virtual meeting, you have your notes right in front of you. Director Sato doesn't want a perfect performance. He wants results. At the start, Don't just sit there in silence waiting for him to speak. Lead the tech check. It shows you are in control of the environment. The intro, "Good morning, Director Sato. Can you hear and see me clearly?" The transition, "Great. Since we have a tight schedule, I'll jump right into the presentation. I'm going to share my screen now."
Jump right into. I like that. It sounds energetic. I have 3 big points to make. How do I keep him from getting bored or confused?
Use signposting. These are verbal road signs that tell the listener where you are in the story. The signposting phrases, starting, "I'd like to begin by outlining the..." Moving on, that covers the first point. Now let's turn our attention to highlighting. "I want to draw your attention to this specific chart." Summarizing. To wrap up, the main takeaway is...
So I'm basically narrating the journey of the meeting.
Exactly. It keeps the director aligned with your logic.
What if he interrupts and asks, "Why is the budget so high?" and I don't have the exact number in my head?
Don't guess, and don't say, "I don't know." Use a buying time phrase. The formula, validate the question, plus professional delay, plus action. Maria's script, "That's a valid point, Director. I don't have the specific breakdown in front of me, but let me look into that, and I'll get back to you by the end of the day."
Let me look into that sounds so much better than I forgot.
In a meeting with 5 people, someone will eventually talk over you. You need to reclaim the floor politely.
I usually just stop talking and feel sad.
No, use assertive politeness. "If I could just finish my point." "Sorry, I didn't quite catch that, but just to conclude what I was saying." "I'll be happy to take questions at the end of this section." When the meeting ends, don't just say, "Bye." Summarize the action items.
Like a to-do list?
Yes, it ensures the meeting wasn't a waste of time. Just to recap, I will finalize the drafts and Leah will handle the task. I'll send a follow-up email with the meeting minutes shortly. Thank you for your input, everyone. This was very productive.
Smiling. That went better than I thought. But now Director Sato just sent me a message saying, "Let's connect on LinkedIn and touch base next week." Leo, I don't know what to write in a LinkedIn request. Is "Hi, I'm Maria" enough?
In the professional world, Maria, your digital handshake is just as important as your presentation. You want to be memorable, but brief. When connecting with a senior leader or a new colleague, never send a blank request. Add a context note. The formula, reminder of where you met, shared interest or value, low-pressure closing. "Hi, Director Sato. It was a pleasure presenting the project name to you today. I really appreciated your insight on the budget. I'd love to stay connected here."
Insight, that's a good word. It sounds much more professional than just advice. I need to send the meeting minutes we talked about. How do I make sure people actually read them and don't just archive the email?
Use the TLDR method. Busy people scan, they don't read. The email structure, subject line, must be specific. Example, action items at project name meeting March 6th. The greeting, keep it professional. "Hi team" or "Dear Director Sato." The summary, use bullet points for takeaways. The closing, "Please let me know if I've missed anything. Looking forward to our next steps." If you use bullet points, you're respecting their time. That makes you a high-value colleague.
One more thing. During the call, there were 3 other people I didn't know. They were talking about CCing people and looping in others. I felt a bit out of the loop.
Ah, the office slang. Let's break those down. They are prepositional idioms. CC me on that. Put me in the carbon copy section of the email so I can see it. Loop me in. Include me in the conversation or project. Circle back. Talk about this again later. Take this offline. This topic is too specific for this big meeting. Let's talk about it privately later.
So if a meeting is going too long, I can say, maybe we should take this offline to save everyone's time?
Exactly. You'll be the most popular person in the room for saying that.
What if someone sends me a message on Slack that sounds a bit rude, like, "Where is the report?"
Digital text has no tone. Usually people are just in a hurry. Don't match their energy. Use the de-escalation mirror. The response: "Hi, I'm currently finalizing the last details. I'll have it over to you by 3 p.m. Thanks for your patience."
You're right. If I stay professional, it forces them to stay professional too.
Leo, I've been here for 6 months. I've hit all my targets, and I'm taking on more work than ever. I want to ask for a promotion, but the thought of talking about money and English makes me want to hide under this table.
Talking about money isn't greedy, Maria. It's business English. If you don't advocate for yourself, who will? You just need the value-first framework. During your review, don't just say, "I worked hard." Use impact verbs. The formula: instead of "I did," use "I achieved," "I implemented," or "I streamlined." Over the last 6 months, I have streamlined our reporting process, which saved the team 5 hours a week. I've also exceeded my sales targets by 10%.
Streamlined. I like that. It sounds much more professional than made it faster. But how do I actually bring up the raise? Do I just say, "I want more money"?
No. You frame it as a market adjustment. You aren't asking for a gift, you are asking for the fair value of your work. The negotiation phrases: "Based on my contributions and the current market rate, I'd like to discuss a salary adjustment. I'm very committed to my future here, and I'd like my compensation to reflect the added responsibilities I've taken on. Is there room for flexibility in the budget for a salary increase?" If they say no for now, don't get angry. Ask for a roadmap. What specific milestones do I need to hit to reach this level in the next 6 months?
What if they criticize me? What if Director Sato says I need to improve my technical skills? I'll feel so embarrassed.
Feedback is a gift, even if it's wrapped in a tough conversation. Use the growth mindset response. Don't say, "I'm sorry, I'll try harder." Do say, "I appreciate that constructive feedback. I see this as an opportunity for growth. Could we set up a plan for me to develop these specific skills?"
So I turned the criticism into a collaboration plan.
And finally, sometimes the career climb means moving to a new mountain. If you ever leave, you must resign with grace.
How do I say I'm leaving without sounding like a traitor?
Focus on the future, not the exit. I've decided to pursue a new opportunity that aligns with my long-term goals. I'm so grateful for the opportunities I've had here at company name. I want to ensure a smooth transition. How can I best hand over my current projects?
Smooth transition. That ensures I don't burn any bridges.
Leo, I have a problem. My team is being asked to work through the weekend on a project that wasn't even ours. I want to say no, but I don't want to sound like I'm not a team player.
That's the hardest part of professional life, Maria, setting boundaries. In English, we call this pushing back. You aren't being difficult, you are protecting the quality of the work. When you disagree with a request, don't focus on your feelings, focus on the impact. The mistake: "I can't do this, it's too much work." The professional pivot: "I'm concerned that taking this on right now might compromise the quality of our primary project. Can we look at the workload distribution together?"
Compromise the quality. That sounds like I'm trying to help the company, not just get out of work. The boundary phrases: "I'd like to help, but my current capacity is full." Is this a top priority, or can it wait until Monday? To ensure we meet our current deadlines, I think it's best if we delegate this to another team. What about when coworkers start gossiping? Someone tried to tell me a secret about Mr. Tanaka today, and I didn't know how to exit the conversation.
Use the neutral pivot. You acknowledge they spoke, but you don't add fuel to the fire. "Oh, I hadn't heard that. Anyway, did you see the update on the new design specs?" Or, "I prefer to stay out of those kinds of discussions. I'm just focused on getting this report done."
Stay out of. Simple and clear. Sometimes the career climb is exhausting. How do I tell my manager I'm feeling overwhelmed without sounding weak?
We live in a world that values sustainability. A good manager wants you to stay healthy so you can keep working well. Use diagnostic language. The formula: describe the symptom, plus state the need, plus suggest a solution. I've been feeling a bit stretched thin lately. To keep my performance high, I'd like to take a few days of PTO to recharge.
Stretched thin describes it perfectly.
And finally, sometimes you see something that feels wrong, like a safety issue or a lie. You must speak up. We call this flagging an issue.
That sounds scary.
Use inquiry-based language. You aren't accusing, you are asking for clarification. I noticed a discrepancy in the numbers here. Could we double-check this to make sure we're being compliant? Or, I want to make sure we're aligned with the company's values on this project.
We've gone from the interview to the office to the meetings and finally to the long-term balance. I feel like I finally have a voice in English.
That was the goal, Maria. English isn't just a language, it's a tool for your freedom.
Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us through this mega masterclass. Don't just learn English, use it to build the life you want.
We believe in you. Happy learning.
Learning English for your career is a journey, not a sprint. Take it one phrase at a time. You've got this.
Goodbye.
Bye. Leo, I think we took a wrong turn at the fountain.
Don't worry, Maria. This is the perfect time to teach our friends how to ask for help without feeling embarrassed.
You're right. Most students just say, "Where is the station?" But to sound more natural, we use indirect questions.
Like, could you tell me where the station is? Or, do you know if there's a pharmacy nearby?
Exactly. It's much more polite. And if you are completely confused, just say, "I'm a bit turned around." It's a native way to say you're lost.
Yes.
Leo, stop. My brain is spinning as fast as this map. I think the city moved, or I'm holding this upside down. We are officially lost.
Don't panic, Maria. In English, we have a much more stylish way to say that. Instead of saying, "I am lost," which sounds like you're in a horror movie, try saying, "I'm a bit turned around."
Turned around like a dancer?
Exactly. It's a softer way to say you've lost your sense of direction. It sounds less like a tragedy and more like a small puzzle.
Okay, I like that. Excuse me, I'm a bit turned around. It feels more confident, but now I need to find the station. I'll just go ask that person. Where is the station?
Ooh, ouch. A bit blunt, Maria. If you walk up to a stranger and just ask, "Where is the station?" it can sound a little like an order. To sound like a polite traveler, you need a polite opener.
Like a hello?
Even better, use an indirect question. Start with, "Could you tell me?" or "Do you happen to know?"
Let me try again. Excuse me, I'm a bit turned around. Could you tell me where the train station is?
Perfect. And here's a pro tip. Look for a landmark.
A landmark? Like a giant mark on the land?
Sort of. A landmark is a big, easy-to-see building or statue. A clock tower, a fountain, or a big yellow church. It's much easier to find a landmark than a tiny street name. Ask, "Do you know if there's a landmark near the station?"
I'm a bit turned around, I need a landmark, and could you tell me where to go? Leo, I feel like a professional explorer already.
Okay, Maria, since we're still looking for that fountain, let me give you my survival kit for getting lost. These are the phrases that save you when your GPS dies.
I'm ready. What's the first one?
First, the ego saver. I'm a bit turned around. Don't say, "I am lost," like you're a child in the woods. Turned around sounds like you just made a small, sophisticated mistake. It keeps you looking cool while you're actually 10 miles from your hotel.
Turned around. Okay, and the polite stuff?
Those are your polite masks. You never want to walk up and just say, "Where is?" Always start with, "Could you tell me?" Or if you want to be extra smooth, "Do you happen to know?" It gives the other person a chance to say, "I don't know," without feeling bad, which actually makes them want to help you more.
I like that. It's like a secret code for kindness. What about the big buildings?
The landmarks. If a street name is Schwarzenbergstrasse, you're going to forget it in 2 seconds. But you won't forget a giant blue clock tower or a statue of a golden horse. Always ask for a landmark near your destination. It's the visual anchor for your brain.
And the last one? My feet are starting to hurt.
The lazy check. Is it within walking distance? This is the most important travel question ever. Before you start walking, ask this. If they say yes, it's 5 minutes. If they look at your shoes and shake their head, it's time to find a taxi.
Turned around, polite masks, landmarks, and the lazy check. Leo, you're not just a teacher, you're a travel genius.
I try, Maria. Now, let's see if that landmark is actually within walking distance. I'll be the local person. Ask me for directions to the Golden Cafe.
Excuse me, do you know the best way to get to the Golden Cafe?
Sure. Go straight ahead for 2 blocks, then hang a left at the post office.
Hang a left? That sounds cool. It just means turn left, right?
Yes, and if I say it's just around the corner, it means it's very close. If it's on the other side of the street, I'd say it's across from the park.
Okay, Leo, I asked the question perfectly, but then the local person started waving their arms and saying things like hang a left and second right. My brain just froze.
That's because directions are a physical language, Maria. You have to see them to hear them. Let's do a body language drill.
I'm ready. Lead the way, Captain.
First, the most common one, straight ahead. Don't just say, go front, say, go straight ahead. It means don't turn, don't stop, just keep walking until the world tells you otherwise.
Straight ahead. Got it. What about the hang thing? Are we monkeys?
No. Hang a left or hang a right is just a casual way to say turn. It's like your path is hanging on to the new street. It's very common in North America. If you want to sound like a local, don't just turn, hang a left.
Hang a left at the coffee shop. That feels much more natural. But what if there are many streets?
Ah, the number trap. People will say, take the second right. This is where students make mistakes. They turn at the first street they see. Remember, second right means skip the first one, then turn.
Skip one, turn two. Easy. Now, what if the place is really close?
Then it's just around the corner. If I say it's just around the corner, it means you can't see it yet, but as soon as you turn, it's right there.
And if I can see it, but it's on the other side of the road?
Then it is across from or opposite. You don't say it's in the front of the park. You say the bakery is across from the park. It means you have to cross the street to get there.
Straight ahead, hang a left, skip the first, take the second, around the corner and across the street. Leo, I'm not lost anymore. I'm the navigator.
Good, because the cafe is just around the corner, and I'm starving.
Now imagine we finally arrive at our hotel.
The first thing I say is, I have a reservation under the name Leo.
Good, but what if the room isn't ready? You can ask, is there a place where I can drop off my bags?
And at the end of the trip, don't forget the difference between check-in and check-out. Also, always ask, is breakfast included? That's the most important question.
Okay, Leo, we navigated the city, found the landmark, and now we're finally at the hotel. I'm tired, I'm carrying 3 bags, and I just want my room key. What's the first thing I say?
Don't just say, I am Maria, give me a room. That's too direct. Use the magic phrase, I have a reservation under the name. Using under the name is the professional standard. It tells the clerk exactly where to look in their system.
I have a reservation under the name Maria. Easy. But what if I get there at 10 a.m. and the room isn't ready until 3 p.m.?
This is where most travelers get stuck. You don't have to carry your bags all day. Ask, is there a place where I can drop off my luggage? Or you can ask, could you store my bags until the room is ready? Store and drop off are the key verbs here. It's a free service in almost every hotel, but you have to know how to ask.
That is a lifesaver. Now, let's talk about the freebies. I always get confused about what I have to pay for.
You need the inclusion question. Ask, is breakfast included? You can use this for anything. Is Wi-Fi included? Or are there any additional fees? It's much better to ask during check-in than to see a surprise $50 charge on your bill when you leave.
Good point. Now, what about the end of the trip? I'm not a morning person. Can I stay in the room longer?
Yes, but you need to ask for a late checkout. Most hotels have a standard checkout time of 11 a.m. If you want to stay until 1 p.m., ask, would it be possible to have a late checkout? If they aren't busy, they'll usually give it to you for free.
And if I need to leave really early before the staff is even awake?
That's an early departure. You just ask, how do I check out for an early departure? Usually you just drop the key in a box.
Okay, Leo, let's get into the hotel survival guide. I've got my notebook ready. Give us the first essential phrase for when we actually reach the front desk.
The first one is your identity phrase. When you walk up, don't just say your name. Say, I have a reservation under the name. Using under the name tells the staff exactly where to look in their system. It's the pro way to start the conversation.
I like that. It sounds like I do this every day. Now, what if I'm too early? I can't go to the room, but I don't want to walk around the city with my giant suitcase.
That's the drop-off. Just ask, is there a place where I can drop off my luggage? Or you can ask, could you store my bags until the room is ready? Store and drop off are the key verbs here. It's a free service in almost every hotel, but you have to know how to ask.
That is a lifesaver. Now, let's talk about the freebies. I always get confused about what I have to pay for.
You need the inclusion question. Ask, is breakfast included? You can use this for anything. Is Wi-Fi included? Or are there any additional fees? It's much better to ask during check-in than to see a surprise $50 charge on your bill when you leave.
Good point. Now, what about the end of the trip? I'm not a morning person. Can I stay in the room longer?
Yes, but you need to ask for a late checkout. Most hotels have a standard checkout time of 11 a.m. If you want to stay until 1 p.m., ask, would it be possible to have a late checkout? If they aren't busy, they'll usually give it to you for free.
And if I need to leave really early before the staff is even awake?
That's an early departure. You just ask, how do I check out for an early departure? Usually you just drop the key in a box.
Okay, under the name, drop off, included, late checkout, and early departure. I think I'm ready to travel the world.
Have you ever had a surprise charge on your hotel bill? Let us know in the comments.
Oh no, Leo, we're late. We might miss the train.
If we miss it, we have to find the next departure.
And if the train is late, we say it is delayed. If it's not coming at all, it's canceled. Okay, Leo, we've checked out of the hotel, we have our bags, and we're at the station. But I'm looking at the big screen and everything is flashing red. This is where the oops happens, right?
Exactly. This is the stress test. The first thing you need to do is look at the status of your trip. You'll see two main words, delayed and canceled. If your train is delayed, it means it's coming, but it's late. You might see delayed 20 minutes, but if it says canceled, it's not coming at all. That's when you need to find the customer service desk immediately.
What if the screen says the train already left? I didn't lose the train, right?
No, you didn't lose it. In English, we say you missed your train. You lose your keys or your wallet, but you miss a bus, train, or flight. If you tell an officer, I lost my train, they might think you own a giant locomotive and can't find where you parked it.
Missed the train, not lost. Got it. Now, if it's my fault, like I stayed too long at the bakery, how do I explain that politely?
Use the phrase, I lost track of time. It's a very natural way to say you forgot to look at the clock. If you say, I'm sorry, I lost track of time, it sounds much more honest and human than I am late.
And what about the big board? There are so many numbers.
Focus on two words, departures and arrivals. Departures are the planes or trains leaving. That's what you look at when you're going away. Arrivals are the ones coming in. If you're waiting for a friend to land, look at the arrivals board.
And if I have to get on a different train because of the cancellation?
That's a connection or a transfer. You can ask, is there a connection I can take? Or where do I transfer to the blue line? It shows the staff you are ready to find a solution.
Okay, Leo, we are at the front door. My stomach is growling, and I see a perfect empty booth in the corner. Can I just walk over there and sit down?
Stop right there, Maria. That is the #1 mistake travelers make. In most English-speaking restaurants, you have to look for the host stand.
The host stand? Is that like a security desk for food?
Sort of. It's that little podium at the front. If you see a sign that says, "Please wait to be seated," you must stay there. If you just grab a table, the servers might actually get confused or even a little annoyed because you've messed up their rotation.
Rotation? Sounds like a dance move.
It's how they decide which waiter gets which table. But if the sign says self-seating, then yes, it's a free-for-all. Grab that booth.
Okay, let's assume there's a host. I walk up and say, I want food for 2 people?
A bit blunt. Try, "Hi, do you have a table for 2?" Or, "A table for 2, please."
That's easy. But what if the place is packed, like there are people standing everywhere?
Then you need to check for reservations. If you didn't call ahead, you are a walk-in. You can ask the host, "Do you take walk-ins?" or "Do you have any space for walk-ins?" It's a very natural way to ask if they have room for someone without a booking.
And if they say no, we're fully booked, am I out of luck?
Not necessarily. Ask, "How long is the wait?" They might say, "It's about a 20-minute wait." Then you can put your name on the wait list. They might even ask for your number to page or text you when the table is ready.
Wait list and walk-in. Got it. What if I want to sit at the bar instead of a table?
Then you ask, "Is there any seating at the bar?" Often, bar seating is first come, first served, meaning the first person to get to the chair gets it, no host required.
Okay, Leo, we are seated. I have the menu in front of me, but I feel like I need a dictionary. What is artisanal forest harvested fungi? Is that just mushrooms?
Exactly. Restaurants love to use fancy fillers. Words like artisanal, handcrafted, or locally sourced basically mean the food is high quality and probably more expensive. Don't let the adjectives scare you. If you see a word you don't know, just look for the main ingredient, usually the last word in the description.
That's a great tip. But what if the menu is just too long? I'm getting decision fatigue.
When in doubt, ask the expert. Catch your server's attention and ask, "What do you recommend?" Or, "What is the house specialty?" The house specialty is the dish the restaurant is famous for. It's almost always a safe bet. And if you're looking for a deal, ask, "Are there any specials today?" These are dishes not on the regular menu, often made with fresh ingredients the chef found that morning.
Okay, house specialty sounds like a plan, but I have a problem. I'm a bit picky about my sides. I love the burger, but I really don't want the heavy fries.
This is a very common situation. You need the verb substitute. Ask, "Can I substitute the fries for a side salad?" You can also say, "Can I swap the fries for a salad?" Swap is a bit more casual, while substitute is the standard professional term. Most places are happy to do it, though they might say, "There's a small upcharge," which just means it costs a little bit more.
Upcharge, got it. Now, what about something serious? My friend is coming to join us and she is strictly vegan.
You'll see symbols on the menu for this. Look for a little V or a leaf icon. To be safe, she should ask, "Do you have any vegan options?" Or, "Can this dish be made vegan?" If you have an allergy, be very direct. "I have a gluten or nut allergy. Does this contain ingredient?" Servers take this very seriously, so don't be shy.
So, skip the fancy fillers, look for the house specialty, substitute my sides, and be direct about allergies. I think I'm ready to order. Okay, the food is here and it looks incredible. But Leo, I have a problem. They forgot my extra napkins and I really need some hot sauce for these eggs. Do I just wave my arms until someone sees me?
Please don't do that. In a podcast-style setting, we call this the art of the interruption. You want to catch the server's eye as they walk past. When they are close, just say, "Excuse me, sorry," and then follow up with a soft request. Never say, "Give me napkins." Instead use, "Could we get some extra napkins, please?" Or, "May I have some hot sauce?"
Could we get sounds much nicer. It feels like a suggestion, not an order. What if my water glass is totally empty?
That's a refill. You can ask, "Could I get a refill on my water?" Or, "Could we get another round of drinks?" A round means the same drink for everyone at the table. It's a very common phrase in pubs and casual restaurants.
Another round. I'll remember that for later. Now, what if the server comes to the table and asks, "How is everything tasting?" I usually just say, "Good," and keep eating.
That's fine, but you can be more specific. If you're happy, say, "Everything is delicious, thank you." If you're still waiting on something, this is the perfect time to bring it up. Say, "Everything is great, but we're still waiting on that side of bread."
Still waiting on. That's a great way to remind them without sounding angry. Now, what if I can't finish this giant burger? It's too big.
You need a to-go box. In the US, we often say, "Can I get a box for this?" In other places, you might ask for a doggy bag, though that's becoming a bit old-fashioned. A more modern way is to ask, "Could I get this to go?" Or, "Could you wrap this up for me?"
Wrap this up. Perfect. I'm definitely going to need that box. Leo, I am officially stuffed. I have my to-go box and I'm ready to head home. But I don't see the server anywhere. Do I just stand up and walk to the front?
In most sit-down restaurants, that's a no-go. You usually wait at the table. To get their attention, give a small wave or a nod when they walk past and say, "Could we get the check, please?" In the US, we say, "the check." In the UK, Australia, or Canada, they usually say, "the bill." Both work perfectly, but check is very common in North America.
Could we get the check, please? Got it. But wait, I'm eating with a friend and I only had a salad while they had a giant steak and 3 sodas. I don't want to pay for their steak.
You need to split the bill. When the server brings the check, or even before they print it, ask, "Can we split this?" Or, "Can we do separate checks?" Most modern restaurants can split the bill by item, so you only pay for your salad. It saves a lot of math and prevents friendship friction.
Separate checks. That is a lifesaver for my wallet. Now let's talk about the big one, tipping. I never know how much to leave.
This is the tricky part. In the US, a tip, also called gratuity, is expected, usually 18 to 20%. But before you add extra money, check the bill for a service charge. If it says service included or gratuity added, you don't necessarily need to tip more. If not, you add it at the end. In the UK or Europe, it's often a smaller amount, like 10%, or just rounding up the change.
What if the service was terrible, like they dropped my burger on the floor?
If the service was bad, you can leave a smaller tip, but it's better to speak to a manager. You can say, "Excuse me, could I speak with a manager? We had a small issue with our meal." It's more effective than just being a bad tipper.
Okay, I've got my card ready. Do I go to the machine or do they take my card away?
It depends. In Europe and Canada, they usually bring a mobile terminal to your table. In the US, they often take your card to the back and bring back a receipt for you to sign. When you sign, you'll see a line that says tip and a line that says total. Write the tip amount, do the math for the total, and you're all set.
Check, split, tip, total. Leo, I think I'm officially ready for a 5-star dinner. Whew. Leo, we have traveled from the train station, found our hotel, and finished a 3-course meal. I'm exhausted, but my English vocabulary is stronger than ever.
That's the power of real-life application, Maria. Before we sign off, let's do one final super recap of the words that will save our viewers' next trip.
Let's start with part 1, the journey. If you're lost, don't panic. Just say you're a bit turned around. When you're looking for your destination, look for a landmark. And remember, you miss a train, you don't lose it.
And don't forget the hotel hacks. Always check in under the name. If you're early, ask to drop off your bags. And if you want to sleep in, request a late checkout.
Now part 2, the dining room. At the door, check if it's self-seating or if you're a walk-in. On the menu, don't be afraid to substitute your sides. And if you need more water, just ask for a refill.
And the most important part, the money. Ask for the check or the bill. If you're with friends, ask for separate checks to split the bill. Finally, always check if the service charge is already included before you leave a tip.
We've put all of these phrases into a travel and dining cheat sheet PDF. You can download it in the link below and keep it on your phone for your next adventure.
If you enjoyed this two-part series, let us know in the comments.
Thank you for learning with us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a lesson with Leo and me.
Safe travels, and as always, it really puts things in perspective. English truly has become this global bridge language, hasn't it? People from all walks of life, with completely different native languages and cultural backgrounds, are all trying to master this one language.
And they're all facing similar challenges, similar frustrations, and similar victories along the way. There's something really unifying about that shared experience.
That's exactly why we wanted to dedicate this entire episode to English learning. Not just surface-level tips, but a deep dive into what it really takes to become confident and fluent in English. We're going to talk about the psychology of learning, practical strategies that actually work, common pitfalls to avoid, and so much more.
Whether you're a complete beginner feeling overwhelmed by where to start, an intermediate learner who's hit that frustrating plateau, or an advanced speaker looking to polish those final rough edges, this episode has something for you.
We'll also be sharing some personal stories from our own language learning journeys, because we believe that learning from real experiences is often more valuable than any textbook advice.
And we'll answer some listener questions at the end, so stick around for that.
So, grab your favorite beverage, get comfortable, and let's dive into this conversation. This is going to be a longer episode, but we promise it'll be worth your time.
All right, Leo, ready to get started?
Let's do it.
So, Leo, you've been teaching English for over a decade now. In all that time, what would you say is the single biggest obstacle people face when trying to learn English?
That's a great opening question, and honestly, I've thought about this a lot. There are obviously many challenges: grammar complexity, pronunciation difficulties, limited vocabulary. But if I had to identify the number one obstacle, it would be psychological. It's fear, specifically the fear of making mistakes and looking foolish.
Oh, I can relate to that so deeply. When I first started learning English, English is actually my third language after Spanish and Portuguese. I was absolutely terrified of speaking. I would rehearse sentences in my head 10 times before saying them out loud, and even then my voice would shake.
What was your specific fear? Were you worried about grammar mistakes, pronunciation, or something else?
It was a combination, really. I was afraid people would judge my accent, that I'd use the wrong word and accidentally say something embarrassing, or that I'd get stuck mid-sentence and everyone would be staring at me waiting. The social anxiety of it was overwhelming.
That's such a common experience. I see this pattern in almost every student I work with. They spend years studying English, reading textbooks, doing grammar exercises, watching videos, but they avoid actually speaking because of that fear.
And the irony is that speaking is the skill they usually need most.
Exactly. It's like someone who wants to learn to swim but refuses to get in the water because they're afraid of splashing around awkwardly. You can't learn to swim without getting wet, and you can't learn to speak without, well, speaking.
So how do we help people overcome this fear? What's your approach with your students?
The first thing I do is reframe how they think about mistakes. Most people see mistakes as failures, as evidence that they're not good enough. But in language learning, mistakes are actually essential data. Every mistake is your brain testing a hypothesis about how the language works. When you make a mistake and get corrected, that's when real learning happens.
I love that perspective. It shifts mistakes from being something shameful to being a necessary part of the process.
Absolutely. I always tell my students, if you're not making mistakes, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're staying safely in your comfort zone, and that's not where growth happens. The learners who improve fastest are the ones who are willing to sound foolish for a while.
That's easier said than done, though. How do you actually convince someone to take that leap?
One technique that works well is what I call exposure therapy with training wheels. I have students start by recording themselves speaking alone with no audience. They can listen back, notice their mistakes, and get comfortable hearing their own voice in English without the pressure of someone watching them.
That's brilliant. It builds confidence gradually.
Then we move to speaking with me, their teacher, in a safe, judgment-free environment, and eventually they build up the courage to speak with strangers or in group settings. It's a progression.
I wish I'd had that structured approach when I was learning. I basically just forced myself into uncomfortable situations and hoped for the best.
Sometimes that works too. Different approaches work for different personalities. But for people who are really paralyzed by fear, having a gradual pathway can be helpful.
Let's talk about another psychological factor, motivation. A lot of people start learning English with enthusiasm, but then that motivation fades. Why does that happen, and how can people sustain it?
Motivation is fascinating because it's not just one thing. There are actually two main types of motivation in language learning: intrinsic and extrinsic. Extrinsic motivation comes from outside. You need English for a job, for school, to pass a test. Intrinsic motivation comes from within. You genuinely enjoy the process. You're curious about the language. You find it satisfying.
And which one is more powerful?
Research shows that intrinsic motivation leads to better long-term outcomes. If you're only learning English because you have to, you'll likely give up as soon as that external pressure disappears. But if you find genuine enjoyment in it, you'll keep going even when it gets hard.
That makes so much sense. I think that's why I eventually succeeded. I found ways to make English learning enjoyable rather than just a chore.
The key is connecting English to things you already love. If you enjoy movies, watch films in English. If you love music, learn the lyrics to English songs. If you're into cooking, follow English cooking channels. Make English a vehicle for your passions, not just another subject to study.
That's such valuable advice. Don't just study English, live in English, even if it's just for small parts of your day.
Exactly. And another thing about motivation, it's not constant. People think they need to feel motivated every day, but that's not realistic. Motivation comes in waves. The important thing is to build habits that keep you moving forward even when motivation is low.
Discipline over motivation.
Precisely. If you've built a habit of studying English for 20 minutes every morning, you don't need to feel motivated to do it. You just do it because it's what you do.
Let's touch on one more psychological aspect, identity. I've noticed that as people become more fluent in English, they sometimes feel like they're becoming a different person. Has that been your experience?
That's a really insightful observation. Yes, absolutely. Language is so tied to identity. The way we express ourselves, our sense of humor, our personality, they can all shift when we're operating in a different language.
I sometimes feel like I'm more serious in English than I am in Spanish. In Spanish, I'm playful and make jokes easily. In English, I tend to be more straightforward and careful.
That's very common. People often feel like they lose some of their personality when speaking a new language because they don't have the same range of expression. They can't be as nuanced, as funny, as clever. It can feel like a loss.
How do people deal with that?
First, by recognizing that it's temporary. As you become more fluent and comfortable, more of your personality will emerge in English. And second, by accepting that having different sides of yourself in different languages isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's actually quite rich and interesting.
I like that. It's not about losing yourself, it's about discovering new aspects of yourself.
Beautifully put.
Let's get practical now. When we talk about language learning, we usually break it down into 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. How should learners approach each of these?
Great question. Let's start with listening, because it's often the skill people struggle with most, especially when dealing with native speakers.
Why is listening so difficult? I remember feeling like native speakers were talking at lightning speed when I was learning.
There are several factors. First, connected speech. Native speakers don't pronounce each word separately and clearly like you might hear in a classroom. They link words together, drop sounds, use contractions. what do you want to do becomes what do you want to do.
Yes, that used to confuse me so much. I'd know all the individual words, but I couldn't understand them when they were strung together naturally.
Second, there's the issue of accents and dialects. English has so many variations: American, British, Australian, Indian, and countless regional accents within those. A learner might understand one accent perfectly, but struggle with another.
I remember the first time I watched a movie with Scottish characters. I had to turn on subtitles because I couldn't understand a word.
Train spotting? So what's the solution? How do people improve their listening skills? First, vary your listening materials. Don't just listen to slow, clear educational content. Challenge yourself with podcasts, YouTube videos, movies, songs, real-world English in all its messy glory.
Even when you don't understand everything?
Especially when you don't understand everything. Getting comfortable with ambiguity is crucial. You need to learn to catch the gist even when you miss specific words.
So true. Most learners want to understand every single word.
And that perfectionism holds them back. Native speakers don't even understand every word when listening to English. We fill in gaps from context all the time.
Okay, moving on to speaking. This is where a lot of that fear we talked about comes into play. What's your advice for improving speaking skills?
The most important thing is to start speaking as early as possible. Don't wait until you feel ready. You'll never feel ready. Start speaking from day one, even if it's just simple phrases.
But what if you don't have anyone to practice with?
There's so many options now. Language exchange apps like Tandem and HelloTalk connect you with native speakers who want to learn your language. Websites like italki let you book affordable conversation lessons with tutors. And if all else fails, talk to yourself.
Talk to yourself?
Seriously, narrate what you're doing throughout the day. I'm making coffee now. I'm adding 2 spoons of sugar. It sounds silly, but it gets you comfortable forming sentences and speaking out loud.
I used to do that, and I also recorded myself talking about my day and then listened back. It was cringy at first, but it helped me notice my mistakes.
Recording yourself is incredibly valuable. Most people have no idea what they actually sound like until they hear a recording. It can be uncomfortable, but it's one of the fastest ways to improve pronunciation and fluency.
What about pronunciation specifically? So many learners worry about having an accent.
Let me be very clear about this. Having an accent is not a problem. Everyone has an accent. I have an accent when I speak English, even though I'm a native speaker. It's just an American accent. The goal isn't to eliminate your accent. It's to be clear and understandable.
That's such an important distinction. I wasted so much time trying to sound American when I should have been focusing on being understood.
That said, there are some pronunciation issues that can cause misunderstandings. Those are worth working on. Things like confusing minimal pairs, like ship and sheep, bad and bed. If your pronunciation of these causes confusion, then yes, practice them.
How do you practice pronunciation effectively?
Shadowing is one of the best techniques. You listen to a native speaker and try to mimic them immediately, matching their rhythm, intonation, and pronunciation as closely as possible. It's like being an echo.
I love shadowing. I used to do it with TED Talks. I'd play a sentence, pause, and repeat it until I felt like I sounded similar.
TED Talks are perfect for that because the speakers are usually articulate and clear. Podcasts work well too.
Okay, let's move to reading. This is often the skill people feel most comfortable with, especially if they've studied English in traditional educational settings.
Reading is fantastic because it exposes you to vocabulary and context, shows you how sentences are structured, and allows you to learn at your own pace. You can pause, look things up, reread. It's very learner-friendly.
What are some effective reading strategies?
First, choose materials at the right level. If you're looking up every other word, the text is too hard. You should be able to understand at least 90% of the content without a dictionary. That remaining 10% is where the learning happens.
The sweet spot of challenge. I used to interrupt my reading constantly to look things up, and it made reading feel like a chore.
And it kills the flow. Save the dictionary for words that keep appearing or seem crucial to understanding. The rest, let go.
What about extensive versus intensive reading?
Both have value. Intensive reading is when you dive deep into a text, analyzing the language, looking up words, really studying it. Extensive reading is when you read a lot of easier material for pleasure and general exposure. You need both, but I'd say extensive reading is often undervalued. The sheer volume of exposure you get from reading extensively pays huge dividends.
I became a much better writer by reading extensively. I absorbed patterns and phrases without consciously studying them.
That's how language acquisition works at a deep level. You're internalizing patterns that you can later draw on when writing or speaking.
Speaking of writing, let's talk about that skill. Writing is often the one people practice least, but it's so important, especially for academic and professional contexts.
Writing is challenging because it requires you to produce language without the immediate feedback you get in conversation. When you're speaking with someone, they can clarify if they don't understand. When you're writing, you have to be clear from the start.
And there's time to obsess over every word choice.
Which can be both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, you can craft your message carefully. On the other hand, perfectionism can be paralyzing.
What's your advice for improving writing?
First, read a lot. Good writers are almost always avid readers. You absorb writing styles, vocabulary, and structures through reading. Second, write regularly. It doesn't have to be long essays. Even journaling for 10 minutes a day helps.
I kept an English journal when I was learning, and it was so helpful. At first, I could barely write a paragraph. After a year, I was writing pages.
That's the power of consistency. And third, get feedback when possible. Use language exchange partners, online communities like Lang8 or Hello Native, or hire a tutor to correct your writing. Feedback is essential for improvement.
One writing tip I found helpful was starting with imitation. I'd read a well-written article and then try to write something similar, mimicking the structure and style. It helped me learn what good writing looks like.
That's an excellent technique. You're essentially apprenticing yourself to good writers, learning their craft by copying their moves.
Let's dive deeper into 3 specific areas that learners often worry about: grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Starting with grammar, this is where a lot of people get stuck. They feel like they need to master every rule before they can speak.
The grammar perfectionist trap. I see this all the time. People delay speaking because they want their grammar to be perfect first, but that's completely backwards.
Really? So you don't think people should study grammar?
No, I'm not saying that. Grammar is important, especially for formal writing and professional communication, but it shouldn't be a barrier to speaking. You should start speaking from day one, even with terrible grammar.
That feels counterintuitive to a lot of people.
I know, but think about how children learn language. They don't study grammar books first. They listen, they babble, they make tons of mistakes, and gradually they get better. Adults can actually accelerate this process by combining natural exposure with some structured grammar study, but the principle is the same.
So when should people study grammar?
I think of grammar study as something you do to refine and polish your English, not to build the foundation. The foundation comes from exposure and practice. Once you have some basic communicative ability, then studying grammar can help you understand why things work the way they do and clean up persistent errors.
That makes sense. Learn the patterns naturally first, then study the rules to understand them.
Exactly. And focus on high-frequency grammar first. Don't worry about obscure rules that native speakers rarely use. Master the present tense, past tense, future forms, conditionals. These are the workhorses of English communication.
What about those tricky areas like phrasal verbs? English has so many of them, and they seem illogical.
Phrasal verbs are definitely challenging. Look up, look down on, look after, look into. Same verb, completely different meanings. The best way to learn them is in context, not as isolated vocabulary. When you encounter a phrasal verb in something you're reading or listening to, pay attention to how it's used.
I used to make flashcards with example sentences rather than just definitions. That helped me remember them better.
That's a great approach. Context is everything with phrasal verbs.
Okay, moving on to vocabulary. This is another area where people often feel overwhelmed. English has such a massive vocabulary.
It really does. Estimates vary, but English has somewhere between 170,000 and 250,000 distinct words. No one knows them all, not even native speakers.
So, how many words does a learner actually need?
For daily conversation, 3,000 to 5,000 words is plenty. That covers about 95% of the words you'll encounter in daily life. For more advanced purposes, like academic study or professional work, you might want 8,000 to 10,000 words.
That's more manageable than 250,000. How do you recommend building vocabulary?
The most effective method is learning words in context, not from lists. When you encounter a new word while reading or listening, that's the ideal time to learn it because you already have context to help you remember it.
What about spaced repetition systems like Anki? A lot of learners swear by them. I used Anki for years and it definitely helped, but I found that words I learned from context stuck better than words I just memorized from lists.
Spaced repetition is scientifically proven to be effective for memorization. If you enjoy using apps like Anki or Memrise, go for it. The key is consistency. Reviewing a little bit every day is much better than cramming.
Let's talk about collocation too. I remember being surprised that we say heavy rain, but not strong rain, or make a mistake, but not do a mistake.
That's a really important point. Having a difference between recognizing a word and actually being able to use it. Words learned in context are more likely to become part of your active vocabulary.
How do you learn collocations?
Reading and listening extensively is the best way. You absorb these patterns naturally. There are also collocation dictionaries that can be helpful when you're writing and want to check which words go together.
Okay, let's circle back to pronunciation for a moment. We touched on it earlier, but I want to go deeper. What are the most common pronunciation challenges you see?
It depends on the learner's native language, but there are some universal challenges. English vowel sounds are notoriously difficult because there are more vowel sounds than letters, and the spelling doesn't reliably indicate pronunciation.
The classic example being though, through, thought, tough, and bow, all spelled with O-U-G-H, but all pronounced differently.
English spelling is a nightmare. It's the result of historical accidents, borrowings from other languages, and resistance to spelling reform. It's something learners just have to accept and work around.
What about consonant sounds?
Some sounds don't exist in many languages, like the th sounds in think and this. Many learners substitute s or z or t or d instead. It's understandable, but it can affect clarity.
I practiced TH sounds for months. I used to put my tongue between my teeth in front of a mirror like a crazy person.
Whatever works. The key is being aware of the sounds that don't exist in your native language and giving them special attention.
What about word stress and intonation? Those seem to make a big difference in how natural someone sounds.
They absolutely do. English is a stress-timed language, which means stressed syllables are longer and clearer, while unstressed syllables are reduced and rushed. Getting the rhythm right makes a huge difference in how natural you sound.
And intonation conveys meaning too, doesn't it? Rising intonation at the end of a statement can turn it into a question, for example.
Exactly. Intonation carries emotional and attitudinal information. It can indicate whether you're asking a question, making a statement, being sarcastic, being enthusiastic, and so on. It's a crucial part of communication.
How do people work on these aspects?
Listening and mimicking is the best approach. Pay attention to how native speakers stress words and use intonation and try to copy them. Recording yourself and comparing to native speakers can be very revealing.
Let's talk about something really practical. A lot of people think you need to live in an English-speaking country to become fluent, but that's not realistic for everyone. How can people create an immersion environment wherever they are?
This is one of my favorite topics because it's so empowering. You absolutely do not need to live in an English-speaking country to become fluent. I've met people who became incredibly fluent while living in countries where almost no one spoke English. They just created their own English environment.
How did they do it?
First and foremost, change the language settings on all your devices. Your phone, your computer, your social media accounts, switch them all to English. It might be frustrating at first, but you'll learn so much functional vocabulary just by navigating menus and settings.
I did this with my phone when I was learning, and it was such a simple change that made a big difference. I learned words like settings, notifications, privacy, and storage without even trying.
Exactly. And you'll be surprised how quickly you adapt. Within a week or two, it'll feel normal.
Let's shift gears and talk about some common mistakes learners make. Not language mistakes, but strategic mistakes in how they approach learning.
Great topic. I see the same patterns over and over, and they're all avoidable.
What's the first one?
Focusing too much on passive learning and not enough on active production. People spend hours watching videos, reading articles, and doing grammar exercises, but they never actually speak or write. Language is a skill, not just knowledge. You have to practice using it.
I was guilty of this. I consumed so much English content, but I rarely produced anything. When I finally started speaking, I realized I couldn't access all that knowledge I thought I had.
Exactly. Input is necessary, but it's not sufficient. You need output too.
What's another common mistake?
Trying to learn too many new things at once instead of mastering the basics. Some learners jump from topic to topic, app to app, method to method without ever consolidating what they've learned. They end up with shallow knowledge of many things, but mastery of nothing.
The shiny object syndrome.
Exactly. Language learning requires depth, not just breadth. It's better to thoroughly master a smaller set of material than to superficially encounter a larger set.
I see this with vocabulary. People try to learn 50 new words a day, but they forget them all. It's better to learn 10 words really well.
Absolutely. Quality over quantity.
What about comparing yourself to others?
Oh, that's a huge one. People see others who seem more advanced and feel discouraged. But everyone's journey is different. Someone might have been learning for years while you've been learning for months. Or they might have advantages you don't know about, more time to study, a background in related languages, or previous language learning experience.
Social media makes this worse. People post about their achievements and make it look effortless. What's another mistake?
Exactly. You don't see the struggles, the bad days, the years of effort. You just see the highlight reel. Comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel is always going to make you feel inadequate.
Consistency really is key. Even 15 minutes a day is better than 3 hours once a week.
Not being consistent. People study intensively for a short period, then stop for weeks or months, then start again. This start-stop pattern is really inefficient. You lose so much during the breaks and have to relearn things.
What about relying too much on translation?
That's a big one. When you're a beginner, some translation is inevitable, but as you advance, you want to move away from it. If you're always translating in your head, your English will be slow and unnatural. You want to get to the point where you think and respond directly in English.
I remember the moment I realized I was dreaming in English. It felt like such a milestone.
That's a great sign. It means English is becoming internalized, not just something you translate to and from.
One more mistake, not using English for real purposes.
Yes, people practice English in artificial contexts, textbook exercises, language apps, but they never use it for actual communication. Language is a tool for connecting with people, sharing ideas, getting things done. If you're not using it for real purposes, you're missing the point.
Find ways to use English that matter to you. Write emails, have conversations, read about topics you care about.
Exactly. Make English meaningful, not just an academic exercise.
We have time for a few listener questions. Leo, you want to take the first one?
Sure. This is from Ahmed in Egypt. He asks, I've been studying English for 5 years, but I still struggle to understand native speakers in movies. What am I doing wrong?
That's such a common frustration. What would you suggest for Ahmed?
Ahmed, you're not doing anything wrong. This is completely normal. Understanding native speakers in movies is genuinely difficult, even for intermediate learners. Movies have fast speech, slang, cultural references, background noise, and actors who sometimes mumble. Start with content that's more learner-friendly. Try TV shows designed for English learners or shows with clearer speech. Use subtitles strategically, English subtitles, not Arabic. And don't be afraid to watch the same scene multiple times. It's not cheating, it's practice.
I'd also suggest starting with shows you've already seen in your native language. Knowing the plot helps you fill in gaps in understanding.
Great tip. And be patient with yourself. Movie comprehension is an advanced skill. 5 years of study doesn't mean you should automatically understand everything.
Next question is from Yuki in Japan. I can read and write English well, but I'm terrified of speaking. How can I overcome this fear?
Yuki, I hear this so often. The fear is real, but it can be overcome. Start by practicing speaking alone. Read aloud, talk to yourself, record yourself. Get comfortable with the physical act of speaking English without the pressure of an audience.
Then gradually introduce low-stakes conversations. Language exchange apps are great because everyone is there to learn, so there's less judgment.
And remember that perfection is not the goal. Communication is. Native speakers will understand you even if your grammar isn't perfect. Focus on being understood, not being perfect.
Last question is from Carlos in Brazil. Should I focus on British or American English?
Carlos, unless you have a specific reason to choose one, like you're moving to the UK or working for an American company, it really doesn't matter. British and American English are mutually intelligible. The differences are minor compared to what they have in common.
I'd say pick whichever one you're more exposed to or enjoy more. If you love American TV shows, go with American English. If you prefer British literature, go with British English.
And don't stress about mixing them. Many English speakers around the world use a blend of British and American influences. It's completely normal.
Great questions, everyone. Keep them coming.
Wow, we've covered a lot of ground today. I feel like we could keep talking for another hour.
We really could. Language learning is such a rich topic, but I think we've given people plenty to think about and work with.
Let's do a quick recap of the key takeaways. First, confidence is often the biggest obstacle, not lack of knowledge.
Second, focus on all 4 skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. But don't let perfect grammar stop you from speaking. Start communicating from day 1.
Third, create an immersion environment wherever you are. Change your devices to English, consume English media, think in English.
Fourth, be consistent. Small daily efforts beat sporadic, intensive study sessions.
Fifth, avoid common strategic mistakes like comparing yourself to others, relying too much on translation, or only doing passive learning.
And finally, make English meaningful. Use it for real communication about things you care about.
Beautiful summary. Maria, any final words of encouragement for our listeners?
I'd say this: your English learning journey is uniquely yours. Don't compare it to anyone else's. There will be frustrating days and breakthrough days, and that's all part of the process. Trust that if you keep showing up and putting in the work, you will improve. It's inevitable.
I love that. And remember why you started. Whether it's for your career, for travel, to connect with people around the world, or just for the love of learning, keep that motivation in mind, especially on the hard days.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review on your podcast platform. It really helps other learners discover the show. That's all for today. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We know there are millions of podcasts out there, and we're honored you chose to listen to ours.
And share it with a friend who's also learning English. We're all in this together, supporting each other on this journey. Keep learning, keep practicing, and remember, every expert was once a beginner. Every fluent speaker once struggled to form a basic sentence. You're on your way. Bye for now.
Until next time, take care, be kind to yourself, and happy learning. Bye, everyone. We are so happy you are here to learn with us today.
Today, we are going to a very important place. We are going to the supermarket.
Yes, everyone needs to buy food. It's a great way to practice daily English.
Before we start, please remember to click the subscribe button and give this video a like. It really helps our channel grow.
Thank you. Now take a deep breath, relax, and let's start shopping.
Okay, Maria, I am hungry. We need to buy some food. Do we have a shopping list?
Good question, Leo. Always have a list. Let's practice that phrase. Listeners, repeat after me, a shopping list.
Great. First, let's go to the produce section. This is where we find fruits and vegetables.
I need some apples and bananas. Leo, what do you need?
I need some carrots and a big watermelon.
Oh, a watermelon. That is heavy. Let's practice a simple sentence. Repeat after Maria, I need to buy some fruit.
Well done. You are improving already.
Leo, how do we ask for the price?
We say, how much is this? Let's try that. Repeat after me. How much is this?
Okay, we have our fruit. Now I need some milk and bread.
The supermarket is very big. Sometimes it is hard to find things.
That's true. We can ask a worker for help. We can say, where is the milk?
Let's practice that. It's a very useful question. Repeat, where is the milk?
Or you can say, I am looking for the bread. Try that one. Repeat, I am looking for the bread.
That's a great question. Maria, do you prefer white bread or brown bread?
I like brown bread. It's healthy. My quick breakfast is a banana and brown bread.
Nice. I prefer eggs. Oh, we need eggs. Let's find the dairy aisle.
Repeat after me, the dairy aisle.
Okay, our shopping cart is full. Now we go to the checkout.
This is where we pay. The cashier might ask, cash or card?
Let's practice your answer. Repeat after Leo. I will pay by card, please.
Good. And don't forget to ask for your receipt. Repeat, can I have a receipt, please?
Perfect. Shopping is finished. We have a lot of good food.
That was a great session today. You did a wonderful job practicing.
Let's quickly recap our key phrases. A shopping list. How much is this? Where is the milk? I will pay by card, please.
Learning these phrases is a great way to feel confident. Before we continue our walk through the store, please subscribe and hit the like button.
Ready to keep going? Let's head to the next aisle.
Okay, Leo, we have the healthy fruit, but now I want something sweet.
I knew it. You are looking for the snack aisle.
Yes, I want some chocolate and maybe some crisps.
Let's practice that. Listeners, repeat after me. The snack aisle.
Good. Now try the items. Repeat chocolate and crisps.
Maria, remember, crisps is British English. In American English, they say chips.
That's a great point, Leo. You are so helpful. Let's try a full sentence. Repeat after Maria. Where can I find the snacks?
Excellent. You're improving already. My favorite snack is a small piece of dark chocolate. It's simple and delicious.
Okay, let's move to the frozen food section. It's a bit cold here.
Yes, it is. This is where we find frozen pizza, vegetables, and my favorite, ice cream.
Let's practice. Repeat after Leo, the frozen food section.
Now let's talk about how many things we want. Maria, how many pizzas do we need?
I think 2 pizzas are enough for us.
Okay, let's practice asking for a specific number. Repeat, I'll take 2, please.
Very good. Sometimes we buy things in a bag or a box. For example, a bag of peas.
Repeat after me, a bag of peas.
Now we are at the checkout again, but wait, we need bags for our food.
Right. The cashier might ask, "Do you need a bag?"
In many places, you have to pay for a plastic bag. It is better to bring your own reusable bag.
Let's practice that. Repeat after Leo. I have my own bag.
Perfect. One more thing. The cashier might ask, do you have a loyalty card? Or do you have a points card?
This is a card from the shop to get discounts. Repeat, a loyalty card.
If you don't have one, you can simply say, no, not today. Try it. Repeat, no, not today.
Wow, we bought a lot of food today. Great job, everyone.
You did so well with the repetitions. Let's look at our new words one last time. The snack aisle, frozen food, I'll take 2, please. I have my own bag.
We are so proud of your progress. Remember, speak out loud. It is the best way to learn. We are still in the store because there is so much to learn. Now we are looking at the bakery and how to talk to people at the service counters.
It's going to be fun and very useful. If you're new here, please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button.
Your support helps us make more videos for you. Ready, Maria? Let's find some fresh bread.
Oh, Leo, do you smell that? The bakery smells amazing.
I love the smell of fresh bread. Look at all the pastries and cakes.
I want to buy a loaf of bread. Let's practice that. Listeners, repeat after me. A loaf of bread.
Good job. Now, what if you want something sweet, like a croissant? Repeat, can I have 2 croissants, please?
You sound great. Leo, is the bread still warm?
I think so. It was just baked. Let's try one more phrase here. Repeat, is this bread fresh?
Next stop, the deli counter. This is where we buy cheese and sliced meat.
When we are here, we need to talk about weight. In English, we often use grams.
Right. For example, I would like 200 grams of cheese.
Let's practice that. It's a bit long, but you can do it. Repeat after Leo. 200 grams of cheese, please.
Excellent. What if you want the meat cut very thin? You can say thinly sliced.
That's a good one. Repeat, thinly sliced, please.
You are doing a wonderful job today. Don't worry if the numbers are hard. Just keep practicing.
Maria, we need some water. A case of water is very heavy.
You're right. Sometimes if an item is too high or too heavy, we need to ask for help.
You can say, "Excuse me, could you help me with this?"
Let's practice that polite question. Repeat after Maria. Could you help me with this?
Very good. Or if you are looking for a specific drink like orange juice, repeat, a carton of orange juice.
Oh, we almost have everything. My shopping cart is very full now.
We did it. We finished our big trip to the supermarket.
We learned so many things in these 3 parts. You should feel very proud of yourself.
Let's recap our phrases from today. A loaf of bread. 200 grams, please. Is this fresh? Could you help me?
Remember, it is okay to watch this video again. Repetition is the secret to learning fast.
Now we have one last question for you. Tell us in the comments, what is your favorite thing to buy in the bakery or supermarket?
For me, it is a chocolate croissant.
I like a simple loaf of warm bread. Thank you for learning with easy and fast English.
You are improving every day. See you in the next video.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Maria, I am starving. That smell coming from your kitchen is incredible. What are you making?
It's a secret family recipe, Leo, but today it's also our classroom.
I love this. In many cultures, the kitchen is where the best conversations happen. But for English learners, describing food can be hard. We usually just say, "It is good," or "I like it."
Exactly. Today, we are going to move past "it is good." We're going to learn the verbs of the kitchen, the language of hosting, and how to describe flavors like a pro. First, Leo, I need your help. Can you chop these onions?
Chop? Like a karate move?
Not quite. To chop means to cut something into small pieces with a knife. If you want them very small, we say mince.
Okay, I am chopping. What's next?
Now we need to simmer the sauce.
I know boil, 100 degrees Celsius, but what is simmer?
Simmer is gentle boiling, small bubbles, low heat. It's the secret to a cozy soup. While that simmers, can you stir the pot so nothing sticks to the bottom?
Chop, simmer, stir. I'm basically a chef now.
Okay, Leo, if we want this soup to taste like it's from a Ghibli movie, we have to follow the steps perfectly. Are you ready to be my sous chef?
I'm ready. But I have a confession. In my head, every movement with a knife is just cutting. Is there a better way to say it?
Oh, absolutely. Cut is the big umbrella, but the details are in the technique. First, I need you to chop these carrots.
Chop. That's a rough cut, right? Like big, chunky pieces?
Exactly. Chop is for when you want texture, but look at this garlic. For garlic, we need to mince it.
Mince? That sounds small.
It's very small. When you mince, you keep cutting until the pieces are like tiny grains of sand. It releases all the flavor.
Chop for chunks, mince for flavor. Got it. Now the pan is getting hot. What do I do with the onions?
We are going to sauté them.
Sauté? That sounds like a fancy French word.
It is, but in English, we use it all the time. It just means to cook something quickly in a little bit of oil or butter. You want to hear that sizzle sound.
I love that sound. Okay, the onions are soft. Time for the water?
Yes, add the water and turn up the heat until it boils.
I know boil. Big bubbles, lots of steam, 100 degrees Celsius.
Right, but we can't leave it on high heat or the vegetables will turn into mush. Once it starts boiling, turn the heat down so it simmers.
Simmer. I remember you said that's gentle boiling.
Exactly. Think of it like this. Boil is an angry ocean. Simmer is a quiet, hot spring. You should see tiny, lazy bubbles at the top.
And while it simmers, I just stir?
Yes, stir it occasionally. Use the wooden spoon to move the soup in a circle. It makes sure the heat is even and nothing burns at the bottom.
Chop, mince, sauté, boil, simmer, and stir. Maria, my English vocabulary is getting as full as this pot.
Now, imagine our friends are arriving. In English, being a good host is about making people feel at home.
What's the first thing I should say when they walk through the door?
Start with a warm welcome. Don't just say hello. Try, come on in, make yourself at home. Or, can I take your coat?
I like make yourself at home. It sounds so cozy. What about drinks?
Use the phrase, can I get you something to drink? Or help yourself to some water. Help yourself means you give them permission to serve themselves. It's very relaxed and friendly.
And if I'm the guest?
Always bring a hostess gift, a small bag of coffee, some flowers, or bread. When you give it, say, thank you for having me. This is for you. Okay, Leo, the soup is simmering, the bread is warm, and our guests are here. This is the moment where most people get nervous. What's the first thing you say when you open the door?
Usually I say, hello, please enter my house.
Oh, Leo, you sound like a vampire in a movie. Please enter is a bit too formal for a cozy dinner. We want to use warm openers.
Okay, teach me. What should I say instead?
Open the door wide, smile, and say, come on in. It's so good to see you.
Come on in. It's like an invitation, right?
Exactly. It's inviting and energetic. And then immediately help them with their things. Say, can I take your coat? Or you can put your bag right here.
Can I take your coat? That's a great way to start moving. It breaks the ice. But then what? Do I just point at a chair?
You use the magic phrase of English hosting, make yourself at home.
I've heard that one. But it doesn't mean go clean my kitchen, does it?
No, it means relax, as if this is your own house. You can also say, have a seat, or make yourself comfortable.
Okay, so they're sitting down. Now I need to give them something to drink.
Right. Instead of asking, do you want water, which is a yes-no question, use an open offer. Say, can I get you something to drink? I have tea, coffee, or some cold lemonade.
And if I'm busy in the kitchen and can't serve them?
That's when you use help yourself. Point to the drinks on the counter and say, the lemonade is right there, please help yourself. It tells the guest they have permission to be independent.
What about the guest? If I'm the guest, I don't want to walk in empty-handed.
We call that a hostess gift. Even in a Ghibli movie, characters always bring something, a basket of eggs, a cake, or some flowers. When you hand it to the host, say, thank you for having me. This is just a little something for you.
Thank you for having me. I love that. It's a very polite way to say thank you for the invitation.
Exactly. Hosting isn't about having a perfect house, Leo. It's about using your words to say, I am happy you are here.
Okay, the food is ready. We are sitting at the table. It tastes amazing. But Maria, I don't want to just say it's good 5 times. Help me.
Let's use sensory words. If it has a lot of herbs and spices, savory. If it has a lot of lemon, zesty or tangy. If the bread is fresh, crunchy or crusty. If the cake is soft, moist or fluffy.
Maria, this soup is so savory, and the bread is perfectly crusty. How is that?
Perfect. You sound like a food critic.
Maria, this looks like a painting. I'm almost afraid to eat it.
Don't be silly, Leo. Food is meant to be enjoyed. But before you take a bite, remember our rule. No using the word good.
No good? But what if it is good?
Then find a better word. To describe food like a native, you need to talk about 2 things: texture, how it feels, and flavor, how it tastes.
Okay, the outside of this bread is very hard, but in a nice way, like a shell.
That's crunchy or crusty. We use crusty specifically for bread with a hard skin. And the inside?
It's like a cloud, so soft.
We call that fluffy. Or if it's a bit wet and soft like a good cake, we say moist.
Oh, wow. This soup isn't just salty, it's deep. It tastes like herbs and forest and home.
That is the best word of all, savory. It's for food that is salty, rich, and full of flavor. It's the opposite of sweet.
Savory. I love that. And there's a little bit of a kick at the end. Is it spicy?
Not quite spicy like a chili pepper. It's more zesty. I added a little lemon juice to give it some energy. Zesty or tangy is that bright, sharp feeling on your tongue.
So if I want to give you a real compliment, I should say, Maria, this soup is incredibly savory and the bread is perfectly crusty.
Now you're speaking my language. But tell me, what if the soup had no salt and no herbs?
Then I would say it's boring, right?
The professional word is bland. It means the food has no flavor at all. It's the one word a chef never wants to hear.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. This is the opposite of bland. It's rich, so full of butter and cream that I feel full already. Oh no, Maria, I just spilled some sauce on the table. I'm so sorry.
Leo, remember our last video? Vulnerability. It's just a spill.
You're right. Instead of panicking, I should say, oops, my apologies. Do you have a cloth?
Exactly. A good host will always say, don't worry about it. It happens to the best of us. A mistake in the kitchen is just an excuse to laugh together.
Oh no, Maria, whoops, I am so sorry. I've made a huge mess.
Leo, take a deep breath. It's just a little sauce. In the kitchen, we don't call it a tragedy. We call it an oops or a whoops.
But the tablecloth, it's going to stain, isn't it?
Only if we leave it there. First, let's use the right words. You didn't break the table, you spilled the sauce. To spill is for liquids. If you drop a plate and it breaks into pieces, That is to shatter.
Okay, I spilled the sauce. My apologies, Maria. I feel terrible. What should I do?
Don't just dab at it. We need to wipe it up. Use this damp cloth. If the color stays in the fabric, then it's a stain. But look, it's coming right off.
My apologies. Is that better than I'm sorry?
My apologies is a little more formal and very polite, but as a host, I have a job too. I need to make you feel better. I shouldn't say, yes, you are clumsy. I should say, don't give it a second thought.
Don't give it a second thought. That means don't worry about it?
Exactly. Or I can say, it happens to the best of us. It tells the guest that everyone makes mistakes. It's a way to be kind.
I like that. It happens to the best of us. It makes me feel like I'm still a good guest, even if I'm a bit clumsy.
Exactly. A kitchen is for cooking, laughing, and sometimes spilling. The oops is part of the recipe. Leo, we use some very specific words today. Let's make sure our friends know exactly when to use them.
Great idea. I'll give the situation, and you give the word. Okay, I'm cutting a potato into big, chunky squares for a soup. What am I doing?
That is chop. It's rough and big.
And if I'm cutting garlic into tiny, tiny little pieces?
That is mince. Remember, chop for chunks, mince for tiny bits.
The water is jumping out of the pot. It's 100 degrees.
That is boil.
But I want it to be quiet, just a few tiny bubbles at the bottom.
Turn the heat down. Now it's simmering. Boil is loud, simmer is quiet.
A guest arrives, and they look nervous. They're standing near the door.
Tell them, make yourself at home. It's the magic key that tells them to relax.
And if they ask for a cookie from the jar?
Don't just give them one. Say, help yourself. It gives them permission to take whatever they want.
I taste the soup. It has salt, pepper, herbs, and meat. It's not sweet, it's...
Savory. It's that rich umami flavor.
But what if I forgot the salt? What if it tastes like nothing?
Then it's bland. If it's bland, it's boring.
Oops, my juice fell out of the glass and onto the carpet.
You spilled it. Quick, wipe it up before it becomes a stain.
So the liquid on the floor is a spill, but the permanent mark on the carpet is a stain.
Exactly. One is the accident, the other is the memory of the accident.
Maria, I think I've learned more English at this dinner table than I did in 3 years of school.
That's because you weren't just studying, Leo. You were connecting. Food and language do the same thing. They bring people together.
You're right. When I say help yourself or make yourself at home, I'm not just using vocabulary, I'm opening my heart.
Exactly. It doesn't matter if your grammar isn't perfect. If you can describe a savory soup or laugh about a spill, you are already a great communicator.
So what's the final lesson for our friends today?
The final lesson is this. Don't wait to be perfect to be a host. Invite someone over, chop some vegetables, simmer some tea, and most importantly, help yourself to a new conversation.
Hello, everyone. We are starting a new journey today. We have worked on ourselves, and now we are going outside to meet people.
Hi, everyone. This is exciting, but also a little bit scary. Leo, do you remember the first time you tried to make a friend in English?
Oh, I was so nervous. My palms were sweaty, and I forgot the word for hobby. I just stood there and smiled.
We have all been there. Today, we want to help you move past the smile and nod phase. We're going to teach you how to start a conversation that actually lasts.
Usually, an English conversation starts with, "Hello, how are you?"
And usually the answer is, I'm fine, thank you. And you?
And then, the conversation dies.
Exactly. To make a friend, you need to go one step further. We call this the +1 rule.
What is the +1 rule?
When someone asks you a question, give your answer plus one extra piece of information. For example, if I ask, "How was your weekend?" Don't just say, "It was good."
What should I say instead?
Say, It was good. I went to a new coffee shop near the park. Have you been there?
Ah, now I have something to talk about. I can talk about the coffee or the park. You gave me a hook to catch. Okay, Maria, let's get serious. We need to talk about the conversation killer.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. It's the standard greeting. It's like a tennis match where no one actually hits the ball.
Exactly. Imagine this. Person A, hi, how are you? Person B, I'm fine, thanks. And you? Person A, I'm fine too. Then silence.
It's so painful. In English, we call this autopilot. It's like a robot talking to another robot. If you want to make friends, you have to turn off the autopilot.
But Maria, many learners are afraid. They think, if I say more, I will make more mistakes. So they stay safe with, I'm fine.
I understand that fear, but safe is also boring. To build a bridge to another person, you need to use the +1 rule.
Okay, let's break this down for the listeners. What exactly is the +1?
It's very simple. Every time you answer a question, you give the basic answer plus one interesting detail, one tiny seed that the other person can grow.
Let's try a role play. I will be the boring Leo first. Maria, ask me about my day.
Hi, Leo. How's your day going?
It's good.
See? Now I have nothing to say. I have to work hard to find a new topic. Now, let's try it with the +1 rule.
Maria, ask me again.
Hi, Leo. How's your day going?
It's good. +1, I finally finished that book I was reading. It was really interesting.
Oh, wow. See? Now I can ask, what book was it? Or do you like reading? The conversation is alive.
It works because I gave you a hook. Listeners, think of your conversation like a game of catch. If I don't throw the ball back to you, the game stops.
And the +1 doesn't have to be a big secret. It can be something very small. I'm fine, but I'm a bit tired because I woke up early to exercise. I'm great. I'm excited because I'm eating pasta for dinner tonight. It's going well. I'm listening to a great new podcast called Easy and Fast English.
Nice plug, Maria. But you're right. Adding a feeling, like tired, excited, or busy, is a great +1. It makes you a human, not a robot.
One more thing, Leo. The +1 works for the end of your sentence, too. You can add a question.
Like, I'm fine, thanks. I just bought some new shoes. Do you like them?
Exactly. Now you are leading the conversation. You're in the driver's seat.
This is the secret to making friends. You don't need perfect grammar, you just need to give the other person something to talk about.
So listeners, stop being a robot. Start being a +1 person.
Many learners ask me, what is safe to talk about with a stranger?
In English-speaking cultures, we love talking about the weather, food, and the situation.
The situation is a great one. If you are at a party, you can ask, how do you know the host? Or if you are at a bus stop, you can say, the bus is very late today, isn't it?
It's like a bridge. You're both standing on the same bridge, the bus stop, so you talk about the bridge.
Let's practice a few opener phrases. Is this your first time at this event? I love your shoes. Where did you get them? It's a beautiful day, isn't it?
Compliments, like my shoe example, are like magic keys. Everyone likes a compliment.
Yes.
Now, many of our listeners ask, Maria, I want to use the +1 rule, but I don't know what to talk about. I'm afraid of saying the wrong thing.
I understand that. You don't want to ask a stranger about their salary or their political views. That is like jumping into deep water before you know how to swim.
Exactly. In English conversation, we have the 3 safety zones. These are topics that are almost always safe and polite.
Zone number 1 is the classic, the weather.
People laugh at the weather, but it's a masterpiece of small talk. Why? Because the weather is happening to both of you at the same time.
It's a shared experience. If it's raining, you both feel the rain. If it's hot, you are both sweating.
Right. But don't just say, "It is sunny." Use your +1. Try, "It's a beautiful day, isn't it? I'm so happy the sun is finally out." Or, "I can't believe how much it's raining. I hope you have an umbrella."
Zone number 2 is the situation. This means talking about the place where you are right now.
This is the smartest way to start a conversation. If you're at a cafe, talk about the coffee. If you're at a party, talk about the music.
For example, "This coffee is really strong, isn't it?" Or, "How do you know the host of the party?" Or even, "Is this your first time at this English club?"
You see, you're not asking a personal question yet. You're just talking about the room. It's very low pressure.
And zone number 3, my favorite, is compliments.
Oh, compliments are like a fast pass to making a friend. But you have to be careful. Don't compliment someone's body. That can be uncomfortable.
Good point. Instead, compliment their choices.
Yes, compliment their shoes, their bag, their notebook, or even their vibe. Say, "I love your style. That jacket looks great on you." Or, "That's a really cool phone case. Where did you get it?"
When you compliment a choice, you're saying, "I like your taste." It makes people feel proud and happy to talk to you.
Let's combine them, Leo. If I'm at a bus stop and I see someone with a cool hat, what do I do?
First, check the situation, the bus, then add a compliment. "The bus is taking a long time today, isn't it? By the way, I love your hat. It looks very warm."
Perfect. You started with a shared problem, the bus, and ended with a positive feeling, the hat.
The goal of small talk isn't to have a deep philosophical debate. The goal is to show the other person, "I am friendly, I am safe, and I am open to talking."
It's like a handshake with words. Once the handshake is finished, then you can move into the deeper water. Making friends isn't just about speaking, it's 60% listening.
But sometimes when I listen, I don't know what to do with my face.
You need to use listening noises. In English, we say things like, "Oh, really? Wow, that's interesting," or "I see."
These small words show the other person that you are awake and interested. If you just stay silent, they think you're bored or that you don't understand.
Also, use your eyes. Look at them when they speak. In many English-speaking cultures, eye contact means I am listening to you.
Okay, Maria, let's say I used a great opener. I talked about the weather, I gave a compliment, and the other person started talking. Now what? I'm terrified that I won't understand every word they say.
This is where most people panic. They focus so hard on what do I say next that they stop listening to what the person is saying now. To make friends, you need to master active listening.
Active listening? That sounds like I need to run a marathon while I listen.
Not quite. It just means you aren't a passive listener. A passive listener is like a wall. Nothing moves. An active listener shows the other person that their words are landing.
How do we do that without interrupting them?
We use listening noises and body language. In English culture, silence can sometimes feel like you are bored or confused. You need to feed the conversation with small sounds.
Like, uh-huh, and oh.
Exactly. Let's give our listeners a toolkit of listening noises. For surprise, really? Wow, no way. For agreement, right, exactly, I know what you mean. For interest, interesting, tell me more, and then what happened?
I love "Tell Me More." It's so simple, but it makes the other person feel like a star.
It really does. But it's not just about the sounds, Leo. It's about your face. If you are looking at your phone when I talk, I will stop talking.
Guilty. I sometimes look at my phone when I'm nervous.
We all do, but try to keep eye contact. Not a scary stare, but a soft, friendly look. And nod your head. If you nod, you are saying, "I am following you," without saying a word.
What about when they finish speaking and I didn't understand a specific word? Should I pretend I understood?
Never. Pretending is a conversation killer. If you pretend, eventually you will get caught. Instead, use a clarifying question.
Give me an example.
If they say, I went to the bakery and got some sourdough, and you don't know sourdough, just say, sorry, what is sourdough? Is it a type of bread?
That's actually a great conversation move. Now they get to explain something to me, and people love being experts.
Exactly. It shows you are actually listening. Active listening is the greatest gift you can give a new friend. It says, what you are saying is important to me.
So, to summarize, nod your head, make friendly noises, and don't be afraid to ask, what does that mean?
Do that, and people will think you are the best conversationalist in the room, even if you only speak 20% of the time.
What if I am talking to a new person and I use the wrong grammar? I feel so embarrassed.
Leo, let me tell you a secret. Most native speakers don't care about your grammar. They care about your energy.
That's a big relief.
If you are friendly and you try, people will want to help you. If you make a mistake, just laugh and say, sorry, I'm still learning. It actually makes people like you more because you are being honest.
So my identity as a learner from our last series is actually a superpower for making friends.
Maria, we have given our listeners a lot of great tools. The +1 rule, the safety zones, and active listening. But let's be honest, even with these tools, mistakes are going to happen.
You are 100% right, Maria. You will use the wrong tense, you will forget a word, or you will pronounce something so badly that the other person looks confused. That is the moment where I usually want to disappear. My face gets red and I want to run away. How do we stop that feeling?
We have to break the perfection trap. Many learners believe that people will only want to be their friend if their English is perfect, but actually the opposite is true.
Really? You mean people like mistakes?
Not exactly the mistake itself, but they like the vulnerability. When you make a mistake and you don't panic, it shows that you are human. It makes you relatable. If you are too perfect, people feel nervous around you.
That is a huge mindset shift. So if I say, I go to the store yesterday instead of I went, the other person isn't judging me.
Most of the time, they don't even notice. Their brain fixes the grammar automatically because they are focused on your story. And if they do notice, they usually think, wow, Leo is brave for speaking a second language.
Okay, so what is the best way to handle a mistake when it happens?
Use the laugh and label technique. Laugh, don't get angry, just smile. Label, tell them what is happening.
For example?
If you get stuck on a word, just say, sorry, my brain is in Spanish mode today. What is the word for the thing you use to open a wine bottle?
A corkscrew.
Yes, a corkscrew. Thank you. See, now we're laughing together. I turned a mistake into a connection. I asked for help, and people love to help.
I see. So instead of a wall, the mistake becomes a bridge.
Exactly. And if you really don't understand something they said, use the honesty policy. Don't say yes if you mean I don't know. Just say, I'm sorry, my English is still a work in progress. Could you say that a bit slower?
I've noticed that when I say that, people actually become nicer. They slow down, they use simpler words, and they smile more.
Because you gave them permission to be helpful. To make a friend, you don't need a perfect dictionary in your head. You just need a warm heart and the courage to be imperfect.
Perfection is for textbooks. Connection is for real life.
Beautifully said, Leo. Don't let the fear of a bad sentence stop you from making a good friend.
Wow, we covered a lot of ground today. Before we go, let's look at our social toolkit. These are the words and phrases that will help you survive your next English conversation.
I love a good review. Let's start with the big ones.
First up, the +1 rule. The definition, it's a technique where you answer a question and then add one extra detail. The goal, it stops the conversation from dying and gives the other person a hook to talk about.
Next, we have the safety zones. The definition, these are polite topics like the weather, the current situation, or food. The goal, they are low risk. They help you start a conversation without being too personal or offensive.
And don't forget shared experience. The definition, something that is happening to both people right now, like a late bus or a long line for coffee. The goal, it gives you an easy reason to start talking to a stranger.
Now let's move to the interaction techniques. The most important one is active listening. The definition, this isn't just hearing, it's showing interest through your body and small sounds. The goal, it makes the other person feel heard and keeps them talking.
To do that, you need a clarifying question. The definition, a question like, "What does that mean?" or "Could you explain that word?" The goal, it clears up confusion so you don't get lost in the conversation.
Finally, the mindset words. My favorite is vulnerability. The definition, being honest about your mistakes or feelings. The goal, it makes you relatable. People feel comfortable around you because you aren't trying to be perfect.
And if you feel like you aren't a master yet, just remember you are a work in progress. The definition, something that is currently being improved. The goal, it reminds you that it's okay to be imperfect while you're learning.
That's our list. If you learned even one of these words today, you are already moving forward.
Go back and listen to the examples in the main video if you want to hear how we use these words in a real sentence.
Practice makes progress. See you in the next lesson.
Bye-bye.